Hello and good luck, Ninot? Ninot. Ninot. Hello and good luck, Ninot. Woohoo! Draft, draft, draft. Play, play, play. Loves the magic. Okay. Decide if you're playing first, Ninot, and then I'll come on back. Alright, so Ninot is actually choosing to play last, which in this format tends to be okay. We don't have a strong hand, but it's definitely not a mulligan because we have lands and spells, so no. And if Ninot's looking to go a little bit late, then that's fine. We got a Charging Griffin on. We'll probably draw another card in the near future. Ninot mulls down to 6. And I'm going to lead with my forest here. Put the fear in Ninot. About possibly 2-turn Huska. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and play the plains and then play Lay the Land, get our splash card because we don't need any other pieces to that puzzle at the moment. Ooh, that's a great color combination. And lots of lands. I'll go ahead and play the mountain since my opponent knows I have it. There's no reason not to play it. And then pass the turn. And I need to just get some creatures online and things should be somewhat okay. Undead Minotaur. Pretty decent card. Perfectly fine. And we're just drawing more lands, so that's alright. We got our Griffin going. See if my opponent has removal, which in those colors could have, and we either have a race or we don't. Ouch. What is this? Ooh. So, I can get the mana weft sliver down, but it's not really doing a whole lot. And I'm already at 5 mana, and that's where my curve tops out. So I'm kind of okay with just keeping it back. I could go ahead and hunt the weak right now, which allows me to get rid of the siphon sliver, as well as start bashing more in. Optionally, I could play Trollhide with regeneration up, which I'm kind of in the mood for. Because I can do that, keep regeneration on the Trollhide, which should blank most of the removal spells Black has minus Quag Sickness, but Quag Sickness probably won't do a lot against a 4/4 because it's going to take a while for the swamps get that big. And I'm fine with going a little bit on the aggressive here, keep Trollhide available for regeneration, not play the sliver, and then I'll be able to hunt the weak later with something kind of relevant. Yeah, I think I like that idea. I'm trying to go in on it. I don't think that this is a normal course of action. You kind of want to be careful with your enchantments, but my opponent's black is gone and only has 1 green up, so Trollhide's going to stick. And now being able to bash for 5 is going to be good. My opponent with lifelink is going to be able to gain some of that back, but will be able to bounce back with hunt the weak afterwards. Plus we have so many creatures that we can draw to kind of blank these 2 attackers. Woodborne Behemoth. Ouch. Okay. Such as the Steel Form Sliver. So, certainly attacking in with the Griffin, and then I can choose to play out a couple creatures here. Still kind of want to have the Trollhide regen up. I think that's going to be kind of key. It kind of locks up my mana, but I still have 4. I can also go ahead and hunt the Meek right now, which will kill the Behemoth. But I think I'm fine taking 4 while just setting up some blocks with my Sliver here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and play the Sliver in order to hold back, so, to start setting up some defense here, and then just keep bashing in with my Troll-Hided Charging Griffin. Well, that's a bummer. Duress is going to be very good. Getting rid of that Hunt the Weak is going to be very important. And now my opponent knows I have the Forest and the Sliver. So yeah, racy, racy. Might be able to win the race if no removal spell comes online. This might just end up chumping the Woodborne Behemoth. There's still a number of turns before this gets out of hand, and I believe the Charging Griffin on the 2-turn clock is going to be a little bit more relevant. I'm also able to play the Master of Diversion, so that's pretty cool. Because it does kind of threaten being able to take out one of the key blockers. But I still need 3 turns to make all of those dreams come true. So yeah, I'm just dumping the hand here. I'm fine with that in order to kind of maintain the race in my favor. I'm trying to decide if I block the Woodborne Behemoth, a double block with the Steelform Sliver and the Master. Apparently not. If I get really greedy here, I can attack with the Master Diversion, tap down the Behemoth, attacking with everything, but I think I'm just going to have to try to win in the air, no matter what. If my opponent removes my flyer, I'm a little scared of that. In green, though, I don't think there's a great option for it. And again, with black, only Quagsingers can really get there, so if we can just protect the Griffin, and with all of our mana, we should be able to do that. We might be okay. Let's see what else my opponent has. Altar's Reap. Alright, looking to dig into and out. Not horrible for us, but certainly not great. It'd be a little more scary if a land drop would end up being 8 for the Woodborne Behemoth, but we're a turn away from that. An enchantment that lifelinks up the Siphon Sliver can get pretty ugly. Okay. I'm okay with that at the moment. My opponent's using it again. I'm a little surprised that that's what was played down. But that does mean next turn the Woodborne Behemoth is coming online. Oh, we whiffed a land. So if I attack with just a Charging Griffin, yeah, it becomes a 5/5 as the regen. The Singer Vampire dies. But then my opponent next turn has an 8/8 Trampler plus a 2/2 Lifelinker. That's 10. But I will be able to take some of that. And yeah, that's still our best out. So that's fine. I just need to get rid of the Sengir Vampire anyway, and while my opponent stepped out, now is definitely the time to do it. And then the real fear is, can I stay alive this turn when my opponent attacks in with these guys? I'm just going to block the slivers here and then the Mana Waft sliver here to try to prevent some damage. My opponent will go up to 4 from that, and any combat trick can make it bigger. But that's kind of like my best out right now. Any flyer can get my opponent out of this, because if my opponent can block the charging griffin, then we're stuck. But yeah, that was kind of a lot of outs on either side of the board on the draws could have gotten there. So, duress, huh? Playing some duress action? Interesting. My opponent knows about Troll Hide, which should be good. I kind of like Wall of Swords against my opponent, which is so much toughness and can really kill a lot of things. But it's really more, do I pull out something that's going to be lame against my opponent? Are the shocks going to be fine? Yeah, I think the shocks will be fine. My opponent showed a lot of big toughness dudes, but those were all on the high drop ends. And a 2-3 doesn't really great with shock, but it can kind of finish off a guy. I'm not excited for this Voracious Worm at all. I think I'm going to bring in Wall of Swords, because there's a lot of things that it deals with, and take out this Voracious Worm, which I don't think is going to do a lot. If my opponent's playing 2-3s, then yeah, adios. Yep. Let's run it that way. Nope, we're not gonna mull. We got a nice Banisher Priest, and then a Briar Pack Alpha. After that, plus a Combat Trick and Troll Hide, so yeah. Once again, choosing to play last, which my opponent wants to be doing apparently. If my opponent doesn't put a lot of pressure, oh good, we did have a 3-drop to play. I was going to say, I'm not going to play the Banisher Priest. If we're both looking late game, then I'll just hang on to it and use it only as a removal spell. And what do you have? Corpse Hauler? Cool. And then I'll play my Sliver. Play D. Hopefully I have Briar Pack Alpha up next turn, because that will be nice. Okay. I'll F6 here. That is fine. Do I want to get aggressive? My opponent clearly wants to go long. Looking to maybe play a sacrifice game here. If I draw a land and going aggressive Briar Pack Alpha, means there could be a potential blowout there. But only having Giant Growth means I'm not as excited for that. So I think I just developed the board to use the Banisher Priest to get the Blood Baron. A little worried because Banisher Priest can easily get removed against my opponent, which means it comes back. But it allows me to start attacking in with Steel Form Sliver, which is kind of nice, and it uses my mana up. Otherwise, I could just attack in with the Sliver now. I have Ranger's Guile, Giant Growth, and Show of Valor up, and I can play, you know, one of the green and the white spells if my opponent wants to try being tricky. The difference is, yeah, I think we attack in first, and if my opponent wants to try to block, I'll just start clearing the board a little bit. I'm trading possibly 2 combat tricks for 2 creatures, which I'm actually good with using my bad combat tricks and keeping Giant Growth up. So yeah, we'll attack in for 2. Ooh, hey Shalaknak. Mike from Mana Bluff. We'll talk to you in a second. What I was going to say is I'm attacking him with the Sliver first. So my opponent's tapped out. I imagine just taking the damage. But that's kind of what I wanted anyway, and this way I'm giving my opponent the option to make a mistake, which did not. And then we're going to play the Banisher Priest as the backup play anyway. I can take the Blood Baron, right? You know, I'm actually going to take the Corpse Hauler. The Blood Baron I'm not overly scared about since I do have a couple of tricks and stuff. And this will allow my opponent to possibly choose to sacrifice it and not get the card back. Yeah, we're going to take the Corpse Hauler. And kind of hope that my opponent chooses to sacrifice it, though I don't think that's going to happen. By sorry, I mean use the Blood Baron to sacrifice it and to get a little bit of value. My opponent's probably going, why are you doing that? There we go. And that's what I was hoping. I don't know if my opponent has more come out of the graveyards, but I'm actually more worried about just my opponent being able to remove my Banisher Priest in these colors. And I think that's going to happen. We saw the removal spell, and we saw, you know, there could be a Quag Sickness or something. And see, now I have no problem just trading these 2/2s at this point. Because all that my Banisher Priest is a 2/2. And if my opponent wants to use a combat trick or something on it, by all means, go for it. I don't have any bounce spells or anything to get the Banisher Priest to do anything more exciting. Curse Spirit, that's fine. Another Banisher Priest, as if I planned that all along. We'll go ahead with the same attacks. I kind of want to hang on a Banisher Priest now for more relevant pieces to this puzzle, but I don't know, we'll see. I think for now it's just attack and go. I just need to get out of this mana screw at some point. Save the Banisher Priest for something more relevant. I'm really debating not playing the Priest right here. I mean, ideally my opponent just blocks, tries to trade or something, and I just have a combat trick, but I'm trying to decide how important this Banisher Priest is going to be. Because I don't want to just not use my mana. Yeah, we're going to do it. I'm mana screwed. I need to be using my mana right now. I'm going to have to rely on these combat tricks to remove the larger threats that'll be coming down. Such as the Behemoth. There we go. Hey, land. So that's cool. I'm going to keep hold of Trollhide here. If I attack in now, it's pretty much clear that I have combat tricks available. But since I have so many, hopefully they'll start being used in a way to where my opponent thinks that they're actually gone. And now we're just looking to play Briarpack Alpha. Kind of glad my opponent is Diabolic Tutoring before attacks. Might be looking for a Doomblade or something. Maybe that Singer Vampire. I don't even want to play the Briarpack Alpha if the Woodborn Behemoth doesn't attack. My opponent wants to reveal my hand. Choose a non-land, non-creature for it. Okay. So can take any one of my tricks and will know all of my tricks, which is definitely a bummer, but I'm not going to just waste a trick right now. So, what is my opponent seeing here? I'm assuming the giant growth is going to get pulled off. Maybe it's the troll hive, not too sure. But show, ranger, alpha. What else are you taking? What else are you gonna grab? And yeah, took the giant growth. Alrighty. And I assume my opponent does not want to bash in now. And now that my opponent knows what I have, there's really no reason not to play the Briar Pack Alpha. Yay! Because now we're just gonna put a lot of pressure on the board. Because game plan is win before I lose. Let's see, what do I want troll hided up? The Banisher Priest already wants to be removed. Quack's Ignis is going to get it with the troll hide anyway, so I may not want to do that. Briar Pack Alpha is just huge. Maybe just bash him with everything since my opponent knows that blocks are about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean my opponent has perfect knowledge of what I have, but can't really help that. I definitely wanted to get that extra land out in order to play, yeah, I'm going to play the Troll Hide for sure this turn and keep the regen up. I just don't know which one to put it on. The Banished Priest is already a good target for killing. Yeah, we're going to put on the Steel Form Sliver and go aggro here. I assume there's like a, what'd you call it, a Sengir Vampire in hand. That's what the Diabolic Tutor was for. I can't imagine Diabolic Tutoring for Duress, even though, yeah, I was holding a bunch of cards. It's because I was mana screwed. I don't think my opponent had any idea that I had this many combat tricks. And I'm anticipating no blocks here, despite putting my opponent down to 3, because it's just going to kill the Woodborn Behemoth with one of my tricks, which we're going to do with Show of Valor. Which my opponent's got to know is the case. So this allows my, for Ninut here, to kill the Steel Form Sliver with Troll Hide, but then that means my opponent's not taking the Banisher Priest, and then I'll still have Ranger Giles back, and try to just maintain this pressure here. And playing a Vampire and a removal spell is going to be really hard this turn. Ninut is saying, Mr. Perfect Draw, lucky, and then concedes. I don't know what you meant by that, considering I was stuck on 3 mana for quite some time. I was able to play some of my creatures, but that's part of having an, you know, an appropriate curve to where you can function for a little while on 3 cards. But kind of a bummer. But yeah, cool. We'll see you in round 2.